Hiya! Welcome to Tall Hobbit Stitches. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Joelle, and I realized shortly after I uploaded the last video, my first video, that I didn't actually introduce myself before I just started talking at you. So anyway, that's my name. Thank you so much for joining me. I had intended to do a knitting and spinning update this time, but today all you're getting is more sewing, so I hope that's okay. That happens to be what I've been working on lately, and so that is what the update is about. So please grab a drink and a snack maybe, and maybe you're working on a project too. So settle in. This got a little chattier than I expected. So yes, welcome. Thank you for joining me. I talked about this shirt in my last video. This is a Cashmerette Montrose top, and it's completely wrong in this fabric. What is the overall look? What does it feel like to you? Right? It looks like scrubs, right? And I wasn't going for quirky pediatric nurse. That was not my intended aesthetic. So what I'm going to do to salvage this so it becomes a garment that I actually want to wear. It's comfortable. I got the fit right. All of my fit adjustments after my last batch of them came out great. I lowered the neckline a bit and I extended the shoulder seam back out a tiny bit. Everything works great. I don't like the look of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to crop it and slap on a gathered skirt. So it's going to be one of my Montrose Top Hinterland mashup dresses, and that I know I'm going to wear more often than I've been wearing this top all month, because I've worn it twice, I think, and every time I pass a mirror I think, scrubs. So gotta make it so it's something that I want to wear. This top isn't one that I made this year. I made this one last year. It's the Friday Pattern Company's Sagebrush top. I made two of them. This one, and I made one in a blue check, and I made this one first, and I didn't quite get the sizing right. I made the body of this one a lot wider than I made this one. This one I had to, I ended up cropping it so it sits about here because it wasn't wide enough to go over my bum. But that's not what I'm here to talk about today. So these I wasn't reaching for, even though I think they're very cute and I love the style of them. I wasn't reaching for them. And it was while I was going through my process of making those Montrose tops that I realized, oh, I need to do the shoulder adjustment on them, because I only learned that I needed to do that while I was making the Montrose tops. And so I went back, I took these out of my closet, and I think I shortened the shoulder seam by 1.25 inches, and that pulled the sleeve cap up higher. So now the hem of my sleeve is sitting horizontally. Before, it was drooping way down here because the shoulder seam was way too far down my arm. And now it stays up, it's cute, it's poofy, and I absolutely am going to wear these more often now because they fit better in the shoulder and I'm not fidgeting with my sleeve all day. This is the sleeveless Montrose Top Hinterland dress mashup that I talked about in my last video. This is my Montrose Land dress. And at that point in my last video, I only had the bodice constructed. And so I've assembled the whole dress. It's done and wearable. I've worn it a few times and washed it. And overall, I like it. You can see I overly shortened the shoulder seam and my undershirt pokes out. So when I wear this, I need to make sure I'm not wearing a wide strapped undershirt. But in general, I like the way it fits. The next time I will also raise the waistline back up and curve it a bit. I forgot to curve the bottom of the front bodice piece. So that's really the only change I'm going to make the next time I make one of these dresses, which is what I have coming up. So I will tell you more about that in a little bit. Yeah, so this is the green dress. This is the tan floral dress that I talked about in my previous video. I also mentioned in my previous video that I wasn't going to do a show and tell, that I wanted to do a little bit more process. The problem is that I kept forgetting to put the camera on because I use my phone to film this. I also use my phone to listen to podcasts while I'm sewing, and I was going with my normal routine and forgot to actually film a lot, but I did get a little bit of film of the making of this dress, which I will add here after I'm done talking about it. So I have the same waistline problem as I did on the green dress. I forgot to curve that front pattern piece, so I'll do that next time. You can really tell that it dips when I put my hands in my pockets, and I don't really like that, but it's not a big deal for this one. I'm not gonna fix it because that would be annoying. As you could, well, you're gonna see from the video, I already made enough mistakes on this dress that I didn't want to undo any more than I already did. I think I want the neckline to be a little bit lower on the next ones that I make, a little bit more closely matching to the green one that I just showed you. That one has a neckline that comes to about here, and I think that's my preference. Now, these are self-drafted 3/4 length sleeves, and I didn't bother to match the armhole with the length of the sleeve and the sleeve cap. So I just did a sort of lightly gathered, I don't know if you can see, I'm gonna come closer. And you see my lightly gathered sleeve there, and I decided it's a design feature. It's not me being lazy and not drafting properly. It's a design feature. You can see in the video coming up that the first iteration of the sleeves were a little too snug, and so I added, where is it? I added a couple inches, a strip in the underarm, and I added a little bit of a cuff because it wasn't quite long enough either. And yeah, so overall I like it. For future 3/4 sleeve dresses, I used the full bias. So the Montrose top comes with it comes with 2 sleeve pieces. One is a standard bicep and one is a fuller bicep, and with these alterations, this sleeve more closely matches their full bicep pattern piece. So I made a new pattern piece for a 3/4 length sleeve using the Montrose top full bicep sleeve, and then just extending it to more closely match the width. And I made it a little bit longer too, so I can have a wider cuff on the bottom. Yeah, but those are the changes I'm going to make for next time. And now please enjoy some video and swishy hands. Please enjoy a little bit of footage of the making of this dress. Okay, I'm stopping for the day because I'm super annoyed. I was very careful. There's the bodice dart, one of the darts. Very careful when I was attaching the skirt to make sure that I paid attention to which side the bodice darts were on, so that I could put the pockets pointing the right way. And do you see that this is the side of the bodice with no darts, and yet there's the pocket bag. So that means I'm overtired and I'm going to be finishing this tomorrow morning. Okay, this is where I unpicked the pocket and I have it flopped over to the correct side. This is indeed the front. There's the bust dart. I swear I confirmed that when I stitched them down the first time. Ta-da! Bodice front, pockets going in the right direction. And now I can finish the waist seam on the serger and hem the cuffs and skirt. Okay, I have finished the dress for the most part. As you can see, there's still some gathering stitches that I need to pick out from around the waist seam, but otherwise it's done. I will try it on another day because my alarm just went off for 11sies, and we do not ignore the 11sies alarm. I made these pants from an old bed sheet. My high school bedroom was celestial themed, and so I've been hanging on to this fabric for more than 20 years. I finally decided to make a pair of wide leg pants with pockets. Just has an elastic waist, and I used they're partly self-drafted and partly influenced by some, I wouldn't call them patterns, equations that I found online for a low waist pajama pant. And so I will insert here a drawing of my schematic, I guess, for making them. Okay, imagine this piece of paper is 2 layers of fabric. And if you Google zero waist pajama pattern, you will find instructions on how to measure and how to work out the math for yourself. In general, this is a side seam, this is a side seam, this is your crotch curve, and the distance, you'll do some math and figure out the distance from your side seam to your center front, the distance from your side seam to your center back, and the distance that you'll need for your crotch curve area. On me, that was 14 inches, 15 inches, 16 inches respectively. And my back rise is 12 inches, front rise is 10 inches, and then I just sort of I fudged it. I just drew in my crotch curves as how I thought they were going to be. Now, because this line is 2 inches longer than this line, I knew I needed to draw a line down on an angle so that this side seam was the same length as this side seam. I also had a separate waistband piece that was 3 inches by however long it was that I needed. For the length around the waist. I folded that in half and then sewed it on, and I used a 1-inch elastic, and I hope this makes sense. I made my mock-ups for these pants out of other bed sheets that I got from a discount store a long time ago. I used to use them as table coverings or drop cloths. These ones didn't have paint on them, so they got put in the fabric mock-up bin, and I liked them so much I decided to just put them into my wardrobe because I don't have clothes in this color. Not really. I have a few things that would go with these, but most of my clothes are blue and green and red, and they lean that way. And I don't have a ton of pink or lavender, so I decided to put them into my wardrobe after all. I would have made them a little nicer if I had realized I was going to use them as clothes and not just as mock-ups. I also made a pair of cropped ones. Out of this heavier bottom weight fabric that I got at a consignment store a few years ago. I knew, well, for the last few years, I have been not purchasing fabric unless I know immediately when I see the fabric what I'm going to make from it. And so I bought the fabric 3 years ago, I think, and I knew that I wanted to make a pair of sort of culotte-ish cropped pants, and that is what I did. I made these and I love them, and they're going to go with all of my floral tops that I have, and they're going to be good under dresses as well. So I'm super happy with these. They're a little more structured than I normally wear. A lot of my quilting cottons that I use are a lot softer in drape, but these ones are really nice and firm, and they make great pants. Now that I have mostly filled out my summer wardrobe, my focus, I'm shifting to garments that can transition from late summer to early autumn and possibly even later autumn with some creative layering. I pre-washed three fabrics for 3 short sleeve Montrose Land mashup dresses. That seems to be my go-to dress these days, and I feel like I need a few more. So the first one is this brown and yellow and orange floral. This is the same fabric that I used for the accent color sleeves on my yellow Montrose top that I showed last time. I also have this green and pink floral with a little bit of blue, and this will be really good layered with my blue pants that I have, and also maybe even those hot pink ones that I just showed you. There's plenty of possibilities there for some interesting color combos. And then this fabric, I think it's supposed to go this way. There we go. So this fabric also has some pink and green and gray in it, with the cream background. So that's going to be fun to mix with other patterns and solids too. Yeah, so that's all I've got coming up. I think I am going to do some more wide leg pants. I think 2 more would fill out my wardrobe nicely. Actually, let me show you the fabric for that. Hold on a minute. Okay, so the tan floral dress that I showed you earlier, I think that could go really nicely over this green linen. And then I've always wanted mustard pants, so I have a whole bunch of mustard linen. And I have this sort of russety brown color that I also think would make great pants. Now, I got all of this linen when I was planning my Hobbit themed historical-ish capsule wardrobe, and I still think I am going to use some of it for that, but now that I'm on a wide leg pants kick, I really want a few more of those to really fill out my wardrobe. For a while, I was doing cropped pants only in the summer, but I am now moving into a wide leg pant phase of my life. So I'm hoping that those pants will serve me well. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me today and for following along with my sewing adventures. And I promise next time there will be a knitting and spinning update. And then after that, we've been working on a really big outdoor backyard project that I mentioned in my first video, and we have reached the end of the first phase of that project. So I'm really excited to show you the video that I have taken from that project. And so that is going to be, it's going to be knitting and spinning next, and then the backyard project. So thank you for joining me today, and bye for now. It was hair. I thought it was a spider. Anyway.